Welcome, everybody, to this week's community recap. It is episode number 2. The date is Sunday, December 21st, 2025. Let's get into it. Okay, guys, let's take a start here on THORChain.net. If we look at the statistics here, we've had a little depreciation of volume here, but we've had some interesting things happen. For one, the main swap THORChain interface, STO, swap.thorchain.org, was migrating from Unstoppable servers to THORChain servers, and it was offline for an extended period of time. And there was also some DNS issues as well, but it is all good now. As you can see, we have swap volume here starting to pick back up. So things are looking good. And guys, we had a Thursday space with Chad Barraford, as we usually do. It was a very interesting space that we had. We discussed numerous topics. One of the discussions that we had was about DEX aggregation and about how STO is only going to support assets from THORChain and Maya protocol. But an interesting quirk to that conversation was that intents can make that pretty much a moot discussion point where we can have any asset essentially supported on THORChain. So hopefully this whole discussion about DEX aggregation will be moot in about 6 months to a year, to be determined on that. We also discussed about various trading views for different people on STO or any interface really, and having like a professional trade interface where you have like trade accounts, Regira primitives, bonding, other advanced parameters, and like a simpler swap interface that is more conventional, that is for more the typical user. And that can we can curate an experience for our advanced users and people who just simply want to swap and are here for the first time. Additionally, we had a discussion, kind of a nuanced discussion about the Ragnarok code. And there was some really interesting, kind of like a housekeeping subject, where there was some conversation about modifying the behavior of certain parameters for like certain pools. For example, there was an asset that exists called XRune. And this is largely determined by the community as like a dead asset or a dead project. And the concern is that this asset, a pool being XRune, will be confusing to new entrants into our ecosystem. And this is also an asset that usually gets pretty much zero volume. So the discussion was more like, we can change the behavior or the fee behavior of these pools, and we can increase the fees. So eventually, like, these pools can be pushed out in a sense, because it does cost the network fees to migrate the funds and gas fees and things like that, which is an inefficiency on THORChain. So that was an interesting discussion. One of the last things we talked about was tokenomics discussion. And it was pretty much from a whole roundtable of individuals, the tokenomics on THORChain are actually pretty solid. It's pretty hard to get much more perfect. And the main concern is to really promote THORChain, these swap features that we have, promote the Regira primitives that are coming, tell the world what we have built here. That's the next step. There was an interesting discussion about the reserve and whether or not we should burn the reserve, and that would be a positive indicator to the market. And if we ever need it again, we could technically mint it, kind of like a company minting stock. That is an interesting conversation, to be determined on that, but something to look out for. And guys, the THORChain account released a general overview of 2025. At the very top here is the TLDR. Let's go through it real quick. So we integrated 2 major chains, Tron and XRP. Solana is currently on StageNet, so keep an eye out for that for early 2026. We also have Noble USDC. Zcash code is complete and ready to go. And we have an entire new team coming on that's going to solely focus on integrating chains. It's going to take them a while to get up to speed, but once they do, hold on to your butts, because we're going to be adding lots of change. We launched the app layer with Regira, so trading, perps, money markets, leverage, all that stuff is coming, and they just started launching things recently, so keep an eye out for that early 2026 as well. We launched TCY token after the sunset of THORFi, and this directs 10% of the protocol's revenue to the stakers. So if you are interested in this asset, you can buy this asset. If you took a loan or if you use savers on THORChain, make sure to claim your TCY tokens as well. We shipped limit orders and rapid swaps. No change from the previous update that we gave. This is still being tested ongoing. Hopefully expect this to be fully unleashed early 2026 with the next update. We have streaming swaps now that rival the price execution of sexes. Absolutely fantastic what's going there. We eliminated memos for many assets for a smooth cross-chain experience, which is awesome. This makes on-ramping and so many things so much easier. We launched marketing, a marketing fund where 5% of the protocol's revenue, and shout out to the community. This technically hasn't even started yet, but the community's own initiative to do their own marketing of swap.thorchain.org has paid dividends. We've had incredible volume there. So great job, guys. When this finally gets going, look out. It's very exciting. We introduced enshrined oracles, which basically, to keep it super simple, takes a lot of data feeds and makes it into a reliable quote, right? For example, if you guys remember October 10th, we had that crazy turndown on centralized exchanges where you had assets like Atom going to near zero. If they had used the enshrined oracle design of THORChain, they would have not ran into that issue. So we are setting the new standard, and this is going to be so important for the Regerin primitives that we're going to be using so people can have accurate prices, so when they use the DeFi tools, they will not incur something terrible where Atom suddenly goes to zero just because a SEX arbitrarily assigns it that value. We have hardened security with intelligent recovery, granular halts, critical bug fixes, and many more things are coming, guys. THORChain is just getting better and better. We are improving node operations as well, scheduled migrations, faster mode, maintenance mode, faster recovery, and there's going to be more tooling coming for node operators, which is going to make their job even easier. And shout out again to the community. If there is anyone out there who is interested in becoming a node operator, or if you know somebody with some technical skill and you think they may be a good fit for node operator, please reach out to them. We have people like Kenton, Runtard, Slambammer, myself. We will give them the materials. We will hook them up with the resources they need, and we will actually try to find them bond providers to get them churned into the network. Increasing the decentralization of the network is so essential. We are going to make that a priority this upcoming next year. We built new comprehensive dev tooling, so just faster iteration, guys. As I talked about, we have a team that's supposedly going to be focusing on chain integrations. Everything's going to get leaner and meaner with THORChain, right? That's the TLDR. If you guys want, you can scroll down and get into the nitty-gritty of this article, but that is the TLDR. Very exciting, informative year THORChain has had. And also, guys, let's go on over to Regeria. And by the way, I know it's dark screen now, the white screen on the other one. I can't fix that. I don't know what to do about that. Honestly, I think it's your fault. So don't give me a hard time about not being in dark mode, okay? But moving on to Regeria, you guys, if you are a THORChad, I'm telling you right now, you better be so pumped about what's going on with Regeria. It is absolutely incredible. They are basically bringing an entire new economic activity, a whole new economic function of THORChain. It is incredible. And unlike THORFi, there is no direct risk to the base layer itself. This is going to be the full realization of the first principles of THORChain. What makes THORChain so great and why it's so important to have your own permissionless access to these liquidity pools. What you can build on top of that. Lending perps, money markets, prediction markets, anything you can imagine. The Pandora's box has been opened. We also had some interesting news happen on Regeria. On lending, we had the first liquidation event happen, which was a competition. So congratulations to that anonymous degen out there who won a small bag of Regeria for making the most ridiculous bet they possibly could make to purposely get liquidated. And they were liquidated permissionlessly with no KYC. It's a beautiful thing. And you now, in January, you'll be able, the caps will be removed and you'll be able to use all your assets to enjoy and have fun and maybe also get liquidated as well. But the important thing is liquidations are not hidden behind some curtain. Anybody can earn and enjoy the liquidation process. It has been totally opened up to the world. Absolutely incredible. Additionally, you guys, we had a Regerin space. It was the last space of 2025. And it was a banger. We talked about a lot of subjects. It'd be hard to break down the space, but one of the interesting things that I think that was talked about was a mistake that was realized on the Regeria side is that we tried to on-ramp so many teams at once, right? And this has added a lot of complexity and took away a lot of developer time. So a good transition that has occurred is that the app layer kind of functions sort of like the Apple Store, right? Where it's kind of like a closed system. And this makes the on-ramping of new teams more efficient. It makes it much less risky, and it will no longer siphon the precious developer time of our core contributors of Ruggira. So keep an eye out, guys. Ruggira is going to be absolutely banging in 2026. This concludes this week's community recap. Hey guys, for the future, we will be having all kinds of videos regarding various updates. We will record how things work and break it all down. This is a call out to you. What do you want us to talk about? Last week on the previous video, we had someone ask about DCA, and we did inform them about that. That will be one of the videos that we will be doing in the near future. But if you have something you want to learn about, memoless, or a demonstration about any of the core primitives that we've talked about in this video, let us know. We will prioritize them and we will make them available. Lastly, guys, we just want to wish you a wonderful time with your family during this holiday season. Make sure you touch grass and spend the time with your loved ones, because ultimately that is what THORChain is about. We are not only doing this for ourselves, but we are doing it for the ones that we love and care about. A permissionless, no KYC, fair and free world is what we are all fighting for. And it is something that we are going to achieve together. With that being said, guys, this concludes this episode. Have a good time. Bye now.